This is Leanne Reed, and you're joining me at Ria's Bluebird Cafe. This little place is usually open for breakfast and lunch, but tonight the Wasted Motel Tour will come. It's some women. Yeah. I don't. Hi, this is Leanne Reed. You're joining me at Ria's Bluebird Cafe, where tonight the Wasted Motel Tour goes on. It's some women from the Hail Marys and co-founder of Sister Spit. They're here to perform all together in a spoken word night of craziness. Hello, you're joining me here at Ria's Bluebird Cafe, where they're usually open for lunch and dinner, but tonight they're open specially, and we're here to see the Wasted. Okay. Hi, this is Leanne Reed, and you're joining me at the. Hello, this is Leanne Reed. You're joining me at Ria's Bluebird Cafe, where usually they have delicious breakfast and lunch, but tonight they're open special for the Wasted Motel Tour. Come on in, let's go check it out. Weren't any of those worth anything?
That last thing. You were like kind of rushing.
I know. I started feeling nervous. Okay. Hey. Hi. How do you do? We are here to. Hi, this is Leanne Reeder joining me at Ria's Bluebird Cafe. This place is usually open for breakfast and lunch, but tonight it's open specially for the Wasted Motel Tour. So let's go inside and check it out.
Appreciate everyone who came, but this is really fantastic, and we're very happy to be here because we love Atlanta, and I'm like totally bonkered out of my brain right now by this cafe that Ria made. Like I'm totally clap for Ria. It's like the most beautiful cafe I've ever. I can't wait to come back in the morning and have breakfast. Like we come through here with Sister Spit every year, and Ria is like. Like the fucking host #1, like puts us up and like always cooks us amazing food. It's so cool. So we're the Wasted Motel. We're 4 chicks from San Francisco who had to get out of town really bad and devised a really artistic way to do it. So we have a great show for you, and we've been on the road since like October 1st, and we've been going to all kinds of places we haven't really performed at ever, or even been at. Like we were in Salt Lake City, which is very interesting place to be. With the Mormons, everyone calls them the Momos, and like they really. Have you guys ever been there? It's totally weird. They're okay. A regular bottle of Budweiser, 5.3 alcohol content. We're all very happy and comfortable with that. And what do you call it? Salt Lake City, 3.5, made specially for Utah, and all of the shots like are administered by this weird little shot machine that's hooked up to the inventory and the cash registers. They know, like there must be a switchboard in like City Hall, of, like they're drinking over there. Like it's really weird. And they couldn't give us any free drinks, so they'd get like arrested and thrown in like Mormon prison or something.
There's no such thing as a double.
You can't get a double. They're like, if you want a double, they have to just give you another whole shot in another separate glass. Like, it's really intense. It's crazy. And all of the girls in Salt Lake City that came to our show were really, really super nice. But instead of like being in a small town and like you're psyched that like a little traveling circus came through your town and it's like inspiring and exciting, it just depressed the fuck out of them. Because like we were leaving. No, I'm serious. It was really weird. They're like, oh God, I'm sorry you had to come through here. Like so many girls were apologizing for Salt Lake City's existence. They're like, I'm sorry about Salt Lake City. We're like, what? We'll move if you hated them. It's not that bad. But everyone managed to get incredibly drunk despite all the liquor problems involved. I don't know how they got that drunk, but okay. Enough about Salt Lake City. I'll tell you. Is the singer and founder and songwriter of the band the Hail Marys, which is a rock band from San Francisco, and along with her wife Charlotte North, who you'll be seeing more of later, they like wrote, directed, started, produced. They were like the one-man band behind this incredible dyke porn movie called Hard Love and How to Fuck in High Heels, and it's really good. And it's like it's not just it's been like premiered at film festivals all over the country. It's really amazing. We just got to see it premiere in DC while we were there, and that's great. And in addition to being all these other great things, she's a fantastic writer, and we've gotten to hear her stories on this tour. So that's great too. This is Jackie Strano.
Thank you. I'm fighting a little laryngitis.
So I have a couple of poems that I wrote right before I left the city, and then I've got a little story I'm going to do for you right now. And those of you in the audience who just got the fuck out of San Francisco as well, you know who you are. This is for you too, because coincidentally enough, as we're planning this tour, Shar and I got an eviction notice in the mail. Yeah. So
Fuck San Francisco.
Fuck San Francisco.
Overpriced fishing village.
It is. Fucking Silicon Chip, Gold Rush Shantytown, you know, it's all about Millionairesville. But, you know, I believe that, like, stock market crash and a good, strong tremor, and then all the buildings that have been retrofitted, we can all move back into. So, anyway, the pendulum swings. But in the meantime, yeah, Shar and I have been kind of driving around going, where else? What do you think about it? Atlanta looks real good, too. So, anyway, this is kind of my, you know, it's my adopted hometown. I've been there 15 years, so it's kind of like my ode and tributes and also fucking, you know, banging it on the head poems. And this is called Mission Street. Past the drunken frat boys, past the Mexican cowboys, past the late nights, past the Prita Hotel, where you shit on yourself in the bowels of hell, where you crawl down into the lobby, past the Pakistani night porter, past the big angry Samoan motherfucker's gonna bust your head open for stiffing him. Here when the rats are gone and the sun is up, hanging over the produce stands and the 99-cent stores, you almost feel like everything's been blessed again and all wrongdoings under cover of the night is bleach-soaked and swept away. Cash is king on Mission Street. Old ladies walking hand in hand past the Chinese cafeteria, past the Norteño's turf in front of the taqueria, where the skinny white boys started a punk rock vinyl shop, and the new money hipsters watch foreign movies while sipping Cosmos and smoking cloves. Mission Street, you old crusty bargain heap full of sunshine. Even the Pentecostals are happy on Mission Street. Jesus saves on Mission Street. And this one's called Free and Clear. I get drunk off the fruits of my labor. I sing my immigrant song along the open road. I don't want to die the American way, deep in debt, watching TV, hiding behind bars, withered and scared. I see U-Hauls lining up on the streets of San Francisco, carting us off in the middle of the night, creating the new bohemian diaspora, punishing us for not buying in and selling out. U-Hauls lined up, moving mattresses out and moving computers in, obliterating the working class, the immigrant class, the poet class, the musician class, the artist class, the dancer class. Line them up and clear them out. Put in another noodle bar. Why the fuck not? It's restaurant town. There's no one left to make your double short decaf latte, save the kid being bussed in from Vallejo. It's my turn to wait for the knock at the door, waiting for the sheriff who only posts a writ on Wednesdays. I play another benefit and sell my clothes during happy hour on hump day. Hey barkeep, I'm not nodding out, I'm just holding up my chin. You know, I tried to join the happy club, but they just wouldn't let me in. You know, even the homeless in LA have a tan. Maybe I could start another Survivor show that takes place in the parks and shelters of the city, and they could follow me around with a camera to see if I can last 37 days on the street, sleeping in a van down by the river. This used to be a Catholic town. Charity was an honorable profession. Now when the fog rolls in, somehow it's colder and more unforgiving. And this is a little piece of prose based on a different road trip, and this is a true story. I am hot-headed and impulsive and proud. I'm fueled by an energy that wages war against oblivion every day. I have an anger that can burn metal and manic highs and lows that scare most people. I embrace sadness as familiar, but my Italian heritage keeps it all in an ironic, sardonic perspective. If you're going to be sad, it's not good enough to be simply sad. You must be completely over-the-top tragic and have some dramatic flair a la Tennessee Williams mixed with a Puccini libretto. The storm clouds must cluster and rain down like angry gods above your head. Your eyes must breathe fire, and the depths of your soul must be soaked wet by a bottomless well of despair that you can tap into at a moment's notice. Plain old feeling sorry for yourself is too quaint and too waspy American. Why take Prozac when you can take a Valium and drink vodka and fall down and embarrass yourself while spouting off about how idiotic it is that everyone wants to be happy all the time? And for what? Trying to be happy all the time is tiring and fake. Life is generally kind of dark and full of some bright moments, not the other way around. And the moment you realize that and embrace it, the happier you are. I mean, whole religions are based on the art of suffering. If you're completely blissful all the time, it gets diluted. It gets cheapened. You become immune to true joy. A Buddhist might argue with me, but they're obsessed with getting over suffering. The future lives may be a spiral galaxy of brilliant light, but in the meantime, suffer the fools gladly or stumbling through this one. My Irish and Jewish blood comes through me with a deep reverberation from the bells of sorrow that ring distant and barely audible, but always there if you listen, like a lonely foghorn in the still of the night sweeping across a coastal town. I've learned the hard way that if telling the truth is going to hurt someone's feelings, then walk through the ring of fire and so be it. You can find a gentle way to say it, but you must always, always tell the truth. Now, I'm not talking about telling someone that they should go to the gym if they ask you if they look overweight. I'm talking about the real truth, the binding truth, the inherent, indisputable, instinctual truth that we all know deep inside of us. Telling someone you love them when you don't is a bad one. But if you thought you did because you had nothing to compare it to, then who can blame you when you finally do fall madly in love and you have to tell someone that now you know what love is, but sorry it's not what you have with them, and bye. The heart has no moral compass, and as long as you don't make a habit of wrecking marriages, the gods will not judge you for following your bliss. Well, in the middle of learning all this and that I can't make everyone happy all the time, I was traveling cross country. I was getting around by going through a driveway service. I got an old Lincoln Town Car from Salt Lake City to St. Louis. I felt like a mafia wise guy cruising back from Las Vegas after making my hit. In St. Louis, I had to get the pink Pontiac Grand Am from the Mary Kay cosmetic saleswoman and take it to Queens. This car made me feel like a drag queen suburban housewife from hell. I was repoing it from her because her sales had slumped, and some woman in New York was crowned Miss Mary Kay Saleswoman of the Year, and was now going to get to drive the gold-trimmed salmon pink chariot with the big Mary Kay emblem and logo splattered all over the suede panels and back window. Sitting in this woman's living room sipping tea, me bald with facial piercings, her a very prim and proper Southern lady with a family Bible on the table next to her, crying to me about how she's so upset to be seeing that car go, I felt horrible. I mean, here I was, the devil dyke from California, taking her status symbol away. Her American Dream plush mobile that was so pink I was vacillating between feeling bad for her and regretting that I actually had to drive the damn thing through small towns, big cities, and shit, why didn't I just get a Greyhound ticket and call it a day? Now, I come from a long line of people pleasers. Pour another drink, change the channel, eat some food. Hey, is everybody happy? I hate to hurt people's feelings. Well, what are you going to do when your final destination is New Orleans and you're running low on cash and cigarettes? You got to go. You got to move. The price of gas back then was cheap. It was still cheaper than a Greyhound ticket. Plus, you had absolute freedom by having a V6 Pontiac to deliver you to the East Coast, not smelling like a porta potty deodorizer. I politely excused myself and told the lady that it was time for me to go. She started sniffling again as she dug through her purse to find the keys. She handed them to me along with her business card, just in case I ever wanted some Mary Kay cosmetics. I thanked her for the tea and mumbled something about her never having to worry about denting the car now that it'd be gone. The feeble attempt at humor went over like a loud fart in a hospital waiting room. First shock, indignation, disgust, and then a burst of maniacal laughter. She laughed so hard that I started laughing. All of a sudden, her eyes gleamed with a purpose. She bolted past me. I waited a few seconds and then followed her out. I stood frozen at her screen door and watched through the wire mesh as she pummeled the pink Pontiac with a golf club over and over again. She was maniacally laughing and crying at the same time as she smashed the sides, the front fender, the back window, the hood. I saw the intense expulsion of energy in the flying shards of glass and blasts of destruction, with each blow as some cathartic ritual to release herself from her sadness and disappointment and replace it with an anger that lanced and drained her wound of self-pity and containment. Hell yeah, it was beautiful to witness, especially because by now all her neighbors were coming outside to see her nervous breakdown firsthand. After a while, she was exhausted. She was huffing and puffing, snot and tears and spit all ran down her face and hung off her lips. Her hair was disheveled and falling all around her. Her dress was torn. Her shoes were dirty. She actually looked really pretty all of a sudden. She stood staring off into the distance until her breathing returned more to normal. She threw the club on the ground, patted her dress down, smoothed her hair back, and stoically walked back into the house. I opened and held the door for her. She walked directly down the hall and disappeared. I picked up the keys, waved to the neighbors, got in the car, and drove away.
Thanks. Pieces for you guys. This first piece is entitled. Alright, this is for my girl. Misguided, I plunged headfirst into you. I knew I'd lose lose everything. I'd already lost most of everything, except these rain-soaked streets that smell like wet dog and make my nose scrunch up at it, and these ever-gray skies that press down on me, and the nights that I sat on the roof staring east with my eyes closed so tight I could feel you next to me, and we would kiss, but only in my mind, under these heavy skies, and the rain would absolve us of all the treachery and pain we caused to get here, miles between us together. I can't remember what home feels like, road-weary and restless. Maybe I never knew it. Maybe I felt it for the first time when your lips slid over mine, when I inhaled you and remembered. That's why I came here, because I'm lost in lust and dreams as I often am. Yet it feels different this time, and not because I'm young and so filled with it, because I haven't stolen anything for some time now. And I was so sloppy with everything, left my handprints all over you, spent too much time inside, and now I'm caught because I wasn't smooth or swift. It's so different this time. I've never been this careless. I couldn't afford to be. That's why I had to come here, before I drown in it, before it swallows me, before I lose myself completely in it. Being here in this town of androgens and girl rock, I feel worthless. I've come so far only to get here, hopeless and harmed, aimless and disarmed. Where else could I go? I spent the first night feeding coins into the skee-ball machine at the nickel arcade down the street from my new apartment. These are the loneliest streets I've ever walked on and the loneliest town I've ever stayed in. The sadness here is so deep it's burrowed itself into the heads of the town people through their dark eyes and carved itself into their furrowed brows. Even the ones that seem happy are still bloated with disdain. I fear if I stay too long, I too will be vacuumed up into this sad existence. Maybe it's the weather, maybe the colors, maybe it's just some safe haven for all the people in this country who have been bathing in their own misery for too long and need to find a great lake of despair, because misery does love company. Except I don't know about the ones born here. I suppose doomed from the start. Some probably sneak out like the sun does every couple of days, but I'm sure they're still blanketed in gray like the shy Portland sun. This my new home indefinitely. I will not allow myself to be paralyzed by such weather. I won't sponge up the soggy depression these skies squeeze out. I will live and thrive. I will saturate my skin with the missing sun and happiness. I will only think of you when I climb my new stairs that creak open with the smell of old and stare out on my roof with my eyes closed and my fist clenched with cutting wishes, longing for tomorrow, a new passion, a different town, a cleansing rain that floods my veins so that I may dismiss this heaviness. Seasons actually change here. I'm from California, like born and raised, so I don't know about seasons. And I'm not sure I'm ready for that, but I'm sure that I'll find you again, under blue skies, and this time I won't hide behind buildings and bodies, I won't flee the scene, I won't wash my hands afterwards, and I won't look for a rain-washed city to fill me up. I'll swallow it, I'll bathe in it, I'll find myself completely in it, I'll live there and we'll kiss, and I'll remember when I lost everything and all I had were these rain-soaked streets and gray skies. I'll remember nights when I stared east and I won't have to wish or close my eyes, because you'll be next to me, and I'll plunge head first. Yeah, you know I want to get some pussy. Fuck yeah, man. If I'd known my bitch didn't put out, I would have put her out. Hell yeah, you know it's all about the punene. Well, hey. You think just because she's out of the room, you should assume what you're saying is preying on the ears of different females. They hear too, and the strong ones will do something about it. So how about it? You want to exploit your woman, your beautiful flower, your source of social power? Well, go ahead, but not in this bed, because I don't accept it, and you should respect that. I don't want to hear about your needs or how you do the deed. According to her, it's with great speed, but that's beside it all. I don't want to hear you call her a bitch. We've all got our own niche. Keep your eyes and words out of mine until you grow a spine or the smell of swine is dissolved. Conflict resolved. I don't want to hear your voice, and frankly, you don't have much choice, because in my land where all is good, I should be queen, if you know what I mean. I just clean up all the mouths of all those dirty talking sows that speak the same shit out loud. One day that cloud will be lifted, and all the knowledge you've sifted through is gone. In one ear and out the other, another man without a brain, and all the emotional pain you've caused will be paused, and you'll stop and wonder, have I made another blunder? Underneath my very thick skull, is there anything at all? Oh no, just empty-headed hussies, headed to your used-to-be a star high school football player, unemployed, slightly annoyed, another check, void, bad mouth, Sarah, hopeless without a prayer door. She wants more from you, but she won't be through until she's had her just desserts. Endless efforts to reverse the role of the life you stole and sold to the black market. This game's done, it's time to forfeit. No one's won, but now your son's a backdoor gigolo singing your same solo about how every woman is a bitch or a hoe. It's not accepted. Time to correct it. You're the bitch and you're the hoe. Running your mouth without a clue. There you go. Now what to do about the woman bashing, ignorant backlashing? You're stupid. Cupid's probably a lesbian because she's been busy with empowering and scouring all the bruises and cuts she's gotten from the male slut she's found along the way. But hey, it's okay, because today we know we're better than that. No woman can get you even wetter than that little brain between their legs thinking we're all just square pegs. But baby, you're putting your shit in the wrong hole. Another heart you stole and threw back in her face. This place is full of women hating, try and date them sleazy fellas that smell of cheap cologne and cigarettes and cum. Ooh, yum, come give me some. Or when I'm walking down the street holding hands and caravans of you shout about how you could please me, don't even try and tease me, because I've been down that road and it's all a load of something. The unneeded emotional trauma you bring, and not to mention all the tension that's in suspension since I eliminated your gender. Yeah, I'll defend her. I don't care who she is, because she belongs to herself now. Pow, another loud, angry little dyke in your face. You can't escape. We're all over the place. Your first mistake was being born. For heaven's sake, pray you avoid my scorn, because now I'm a male hater. Yeah, I know your ex-girlfriend. I date her. You can't hold me down, because my voice will always be found in the ears of all females that try and hear about what they're worth. Make it better, because we share this earth.
It's gonna be. Chuck, I wish you did too. It's gonna be in an anthology coming out called "Sex and Single Girls" on Silk Press under a different, really bad title that I picked at the last minute. But nothing. Doesn't have the charm and the wit of I Fuck Baba Ram Das. Okay. Julie had prepared me for this call. She said the guy was into witchcraft, was a wizard or something, and if I acted real fascinated, I could probably get him to read my tarot cards and kill half an hour. Cab driver, the cab. And beautiful and wonderful, and like we didn't even know it was going to be so wonderful and beautiful and fabulous and all those kinds of things. So it's just so appropriate for me to read my book here because my book is all about beautiful, fabulous things. And a few little graphic things. What am I going to read? Oh, I know. I'm going to start out. We're going to do a couple rounds, you guys, just so you know. And I think I'm going to start at the back of the book, and which is the troubleshooting section. And it has everything. It has like stuff like, oh, I don't know, how to like, where in the hell is it? Here we go. See this little fire extinguisher. That's my friend Christina. Isn't it cute? There's lots of pictures and lots of comics. I like that part. Here we go. Oh, how to salvage a tryst with a bottom you didn't know was a bottom. How to peg a dyko psycho. That one's become kind of popular. Dyke sex on the endangered list. Like, are we really fucking as much as we say we are? I think you like me more than I like you syndrome. And I'm going to read how to wash any babe right out of your hair. Char spell for the wrenched heart. I don't hate you, but I don't like you. I don't feel anything for you. That's one of my lovely stud wife, Jackie Strano's songs, Emotional Scars. You can see that song probably still universal for a few people. Very poetic. Oh, sweet pumpkin, is your little heart bruised, or even worse, totally run over by a haggle of Harleys? Well, never you mind. Dr. Shar will take care of you. Careful, this is strong medicine. If your case isn't bad, cut the prescription in half. First off, you have to see that the relationship is over. Perhaps you're in one of those breakups where this is totally clear, but let me dedicate a moment to those of you who are still hanging on. Girl, order yourself some phonics and read my words. I'm telling you, it's over. Those friends who say, oh, maybe she'll come back, maybe she didn't mean it, maybe she'll change her mind, blah, blah, blah. They're clueless. Their hearts are in the right place and they love you, so they're just trying to make you feel better. But saying this is like telling somebody whose hair caught on fire that it doesn't smell, you can't tell, it looks okay. Oh, bullshit. Cut that shit off and grow some new hair. Those friends need to tell you what I'm telling you right now. It's sad because it was a good relationship, and or you loved each other, and or you had great sex, and or she took good care of you. And it's good that it's sad. Tears are what we pay for people. It's impossible to buy people with money, although, as we can tell from Michelle, we can rent them sometimes by the hour. But tears are all that we have, and we can pay them when they're gone, or even when we're with someone. Tears are all we have to give, and it's totally okay. It's also an honor just to let it flow and pay that price willingly. If she isn't worth her tears, then she wasn't worth you. Oh my gosh, I just skipped 3 pages. Where are we at? Here we go. Sometimes we ruminate for days trying to rationalize a breakup, figure out why someone left, or try to articulate why it went wrong. Much of the time, this is still an effort to control the situation. You couldn't control her, or the relationship, or even the breakup, but god damn it, you're gonna figure out why. Or you're gonna figure out what you're gonna say to her the next time you see her on the street, or what you're gonna tell her friends, etc. But maybe you just need to let yourself be sad and say to yourself, honey, it is over, time to move on. But to move on, we need ritual and cleansing. Back to the burned hair. Like I said, cut it off, but if that's all you do, you'll have this big chunk of your head missing. You'll have to style around it and own it, and that is the reason that I'm here. It's called Diva Intervention. We're gonna get rid of that horrid smell, add some highlights, and give you a brand new do. P.S. This procedure has been tested repeatedly, and it is a proven fix when details are heeded. Day 1. Lock yourself in your house, make a date for 10 p.m. with a friend you can slobber on. Tell him or her that you might cancel, but to come over no matter what. And mention that your phone might not work. Then, pull the phone out of the wall, Put it in a Ziploc bag and seal it. Put that inside of a Ziploc bag and seal it. Then put the entire thing into a pan of water, then put it in the freezer. Run to your nearest store and buy comfort foods. Ice cream, hot fudge sauce, instant mashed potatoes are my favorite. If you drink, buy a small bottle of tequila, buy some ibuprofen or aspirin, and a large cucumber. Go home. Now, don't let your imaginations run away with the cucumber part. Take an ibuprofen, cut the cucumber into 1-inch thick slices and place them in the freezer. Look at photos of yourself and your ex together and begin eating the ice cream. Start crying, get choked up so that you can't eat. Cry and say, why? Even if you know why, say it. Answer yourself too, I don't know why, honey, but you'll live. And then offer the butch version, I don't know why, partner, you'll live. Cry more. Choke down the ice cream even though your mouth is getting that icky, sticky feeling. Then put it back in the freezer and cry hard, lying down, going in and out of bad daydreams. Turn on the TV. Eat salty foods, then eat more ice cream, then stop the ice cream by 6 p.m. Right, I hate you, you motherfucking piece of shit, as much as you can. Then say, no I don't, I love you, and then rip it up while snot runs down your face. Wipe your face. It's a little bit hard to see here, I have to tell. Okay, wipe your face and talk to yourself more, this time in front of the mirror. Scream why one more time. Around 8 p.m., take your aspirin or your ibuprofen, whatever you bought, drink 2 big glasses of water, take a hot bath, crawl into bed and sleep or meditate until your friend shows up at 10. Drink with your friend. Fake laugh until you get drunk, then cry and get very snot-filled. If you don't drink, just slowly become more and more slobbery and slur your words. Physical alcohol content is not the important factor, it's the slobber effect that counts. Don't hold back, cry, and don't worry if you look like a fool. Take vitamin C and drink at least 2 more glasses of water, fall asleep. Okay. Day 2, crawl out of bed. Take 2 cucumber slices from the freezer and put them on your eyes for 30 minutes while you listen to the TV. Then take them off and watch TV until 3 o'clock. Take a shower. Go to a payphone and call a friend and say, I have to stay away from the phone, can I come over? Forget about work, rent videos and do suburban things. If no friends are home, go to the nearest dime store and go up and down every aisle, pondering as many things as possible. Watch people hurry past you, laugh at their jokes and children, take time to talk slowly to the clerks, let somebody go ahead of you in line, read magazines that you never have before, and then comment on them to a stranger. Don't worry if they stare at you, kind of funny. Finally, go to a record store and buy Diana Ross's All the Great Hits. This is the one with mahogany on it, Touch Me in the Morning and Remember Me, and a blank tape. I kept messing it up and I kept saying monogamy. Every time. And then those guys would be like, it's mahogany! And I was like, oh, right. Anyway, and she has lots of greatest hits albums. This one's sort of lime green, and it has Remember Me on it. And Remember Me is one of the best songs. And it's this whole song that's like, well, the whole entire album is like, you need to go, oh, you go. You just go ahead and go. But you just remember me as a good thing. It's like, you remember my face the morning after? You need, oh, right, go ahead, you go. I'm here. You just remember me as a good thing. Okay, fine. So, anyway, you'll know it when you see it. Okay, go home and cry only to the degree that seems natural this time. Day 3, the home stretch. Get up, eat oatmeal with lots of honey, cinnamon, and soy milk or your white stuff of choice, butter, and drink something hot. Take your hot tea or your hot drink, whatever it is, over the stereo and put on your new Diana Ross and tape it. If your version includes the lyrics, sit on the floor by your stereo and sing along with Diana. Tape it on both sides of a tape so that you can just turn it over and listen to it again and again. Clean the house and listen to it until you know the words by heart, then sing them at the top of your lungs. Finally, do Diana as frequently as possible. You're on your own now, but Diana will take care of it, and you'll not even think to play her one day, and you won't remember your pain until you dig out the tape and loan it to a friend in need. Now I know, you're all saying, oh right, Char, you want to know if you can play Aerosmith instead? You can add that. You can add that on top. That's kind of like if your prescription for Motrin is like 800, you can go ahead and take 1,000. But what you need to do is make sure that you do the Diana. That's the one that's been tested, tried, and true. So, and when you do it, you'll tell me later that, yeah, you're right, Char. So day 4, or maybe it's day 14 or week 14. It's just, after you've done your Diana stuff. Anyway, defrost the phone.
And for all your book shopping needs. So now we're gonna go like round 2. Everyone's gonna come up and do some more. So without further ado, Jackie Strano once again.
I'm just laughing at myself. I'm having a moment because, yeah. What happened? Oh, I'm just having a moment thinking about karaoke. Like, I've done a lot of karaoke.
Yes!
In many different cities. And I was telling a story the other day as we were driving along, because A Whole Lot of Love came on. And I did that in a really sleazy bar in Seattle. And that was really, really cool. And it was one of those bars where you're just kind of like, okay, are we going to have to get in a fight? Or, like, are we going to make some friends? You know? And then I was just like, fuck it! Whole lot of love! You know, and by the end of the night, we made a lot of friends, so it was okay.
Tell me about karaoke in Salt Lake.
And everything. And then we're like, fuck this. And so, of course, we got drunk and did karaoke. So it was really fun. We did, Michelle did I've Never Been to Me by Charlotte. A total interpretation of it.
Even more now that you know that song.
It was awesome. Last night was a good night. At the Ramada Inn in Sacramento, I won $500 at the Northern California Karaoke Competition semifinals. I brought the house down with The Rose by Bette Midler. I was up against I Will Always Love You, the Whitney Houston version by a fancy queen from Chico. But I walked away with the cash and an invite for the finals down in Fresno in about a month. I did a line of coke to sober up and headed out on 80 East for Reno to get a suite at the Silver Legacy and called Donna. I used to work with her at this phone sex place. I was the night manager and credit operator, and she was one of the fantasy girls. I would dispatch the calls out, and she was a big, busty, blonde college girl with an oral fixation. Little did the guys know they were talking to a petite 30-year-old with red and pink dyed hair, piercings and tattoos who dropped out of high school to have her first kid. There were plenty of guys that called for that scene too, but she only took the college bunny calls, keeping a safe distance, she called it. Her voice is so fucking sexy. We had this phone flirtation that went on forever. We would banter back and forth until one day I just came out and said that I had to meet her soon, and I didn't give a shit how inappropriate it sounded. Well, the next day she walks into the office to pick up her check. She usually did this in the daytime, so I never saw her, but this time she came in after 8 when she knew I'd be working. She was fine. She walked right up to me, stuck out her hand, and introduced herself. I kissed her hand and said something about getting some dinner or something. When we made it as far as my car, we fucked furiously for an hour. I had to get back upstairs, and she had to get back home to her old man, some biker dude who supposedly had done time in Soledad prison. The thought of him busting in on us and blowing my head off played through my mind every time we had sex. The mental image of my bloody demise added to the urgency I felt every time I put my hand inside of her. This went on for a while until I quit the job and she moved to Reno. She gave me her number and told me to look her up whenever I was passing through. That was 2 years ago. Standing there holding a hose, spraying it down, standing back on his heels with flip-flops on and his beer belly sticking straight up and out. His posture said, fuck you and don't fuck with me. He looked like someone who either felt that the world owed him big time or that he felt like he owned everything he pissed on. I slowed down and stayed back, pretending to be parking at the house across the street in Downaways. Just as I was ready to burn rubber past the house and drive away, the front door opens. Out comes Donna. She hands him a beer and kisses him as he pulls her up into him across his chest and grabs her ass. Son of a bitch. I dial her number furiously on my cell phone. I watch her go back into the house while Cracker Asshole keeps hosing down his Harley. Hello? What the fuck is going on, Donna? What the hell's the matter with you? What's the matter with me? You fucking leave me in the middle of the night to go back to that mother...
We ended up at the Rock Creek Lodge right outside Missoula, which is home every year of the Testicle Festival, which is like, people come from you must know, I mean, anyone who knows Missoula must know about the fucking Testicle Festival. People come from miles and miles around to eat deep fried bull gonads. It's like, pickled also. It's like, and even though it wasn't happening right now, like, the gift shop, it was all about the Testicle Festival. It's like this cartoon bull, like, holding his nuts, when you're like, you could get, like, Testicle Festival, everything, and, like, just really bizarre, they had really bizarre gifts. There was, like, enormous carved wooden dildos that were called woodpeckers. And then there was, Cassie was touching this golf club that looked very odd, like made of a material we seemed kind of foreign and interesting, exotic.
Wait, they weren't wooden they were
No. The wooden the dildos were wooden, but the golf clubs are made out of horse penis. So, and the girls all, oh yeah, that's horse penis. Bull penis. Whoa,
We're all arguing about horse penis.
It was made of penis. Okay. Wrong. She touched it. It's like one little part of her finger that's always going to remember that. It's very sad. But then but it was really true because, you know, Missoula's like big hunting place. And it was like hunting season. It was fall, so it was like really intense. And then we were driving the next morning through town, and there was this big traveling like exhibit. It was like the bookmobile or something. But it was about bears and like don't feed bears. Like the bears, like it's fall, it's getting really cold. Like the shrubs are drying up and the bears are hungry and they're coming out of the woods into town. And so this display to like educate everyone in Missoula about like not feeding the bears was a big stuffed dead bear. It was like insane, like in this like cage, and it was like being tugged behind it like a little U-Haul thing, you know? And we're like, what the fuck is that? It's all, you know, and it said a fed bear is a dead bear. You feed the bear, you know, it's gonna just keep coming around and someone's just gonna shoot it. So if you really love the bear, don't feed it. Just you know, pray to God, just hope it gets through the winter. But that was Missoula, that was a trip. That was very, very interesting.
Are you guys sick about all the kinds of girls that I want? All right. Girls, yeah, all I really want is girls, bum, 2 at a time. I want girls with short hair, girls with long hair, girls with curls, girls with pearls, girls with swirls of rainbows in their mind. I want to find a girl who always has the blues. I want a girl who does the don'ts. I won't take no for an answer. I want a girl with the Cancer moon. I want her to swoon. I want her to love me sooner than later. I'm not a player hater. I want more than just one, preferably with their sun in the air, but I don't care too much. I want a girl that's soft to the touch, but that's every female. I want a girl who casts spells and rings bells with her voice, and you have no choice but to look her way. I want a girl that loves me during the day and leaves me at night. I want a girl whose beauty incites riots. I want a riot girl, a rude girl, and always in the mood girl, a just say no to dudes girl. I want a girl with respect to neglect my feelings. I want a girl that walks on ceilings and dismisses floors. I want whores and Madonnas. I want them all to get in the sauna and wait for me to see what type of girl I want next. I want a girl that loves sex. I want a frigid girl. I want a girl with experience. I want a girl that's never loved a girl but would love to love me, but that's usually what I get. I want a girl who always sets me up for disappointment. I want a girl that will only see me by appointment. I want a girl that uses lots of ointment. I want a girl who tells me to get bent. I want a girl sent from heaven. I want 11 girls all at once. I'm no dunce. I want a girl that pulls stunts for a living. I want a girl that's not into giving, but taking. I want a girl to start breaking me. I want a girl that's always faking me out. I want a girl to make me doubt my game. I want lots of girls to shout my name, and if it's all the same, I want more girls. I want a harem. I want a girl that'll make me work. I want a girl that thinks I'm a jerk and lies to my face. I want a girl to set the pace. I want a girl I have to chase. I want a girl with expensive taste. I want an ultra vixen and pasties. I want a girl with lacy underwear. I don't care how raunchy I get. I want a girl, and I want her wet. She should be a jet setter, a go-getter. I don't care if she's a bedwetter, and if she doesn't want me, well then forget her, because I want so many girls. I want more girls than there are. I want a girl that shines brighter than the brightest star. I want a girl that's car is luxury. I want a girl that wants to suck on me, preferably my neck or my ears. I want a girl to wipe my tears. I want a girl to bring all my fears to life. I want a girl who will pull the knife from my back and slit my throat with it. I want a girl that says shit instead of shoot. I don't give a hoot where she's from as long as she's ready to come. I want a girl that's dumb or smart. I want a girl that's not afraid to fart in bed. Nah, wait. Instead of that, I want a girl that listens to fat beats and rides in bucket seats. I want a girl that drives a truck. I want a girl who says fuck more than she does it. I want a girl that's not afraid to hit me. I want that girl that bit me last week. I want Rick James's super freak. I want a geeky girl with glasses that passes all her classes with A's. I want a girl that only receives praise. I want a girl that loves gays. I want a lesbian thespian that writes her own plays. I want girls. I want lots of girls. I want every girl. I need girls. I need girls to lick my dirty tennies. Girls to clean up all my shit. Girls to grab the bill at Denny's. Girls to suck my plastic dick. Girls to stick up for me. Girls to fight my battles. Girls to feed me fiddle-faddle. I need girls. I want girls. I want a surly girly girl. I want ladies. I want femmes. I want flowers with smooth long stems. I want girls. I need girls. I want every girl. I want girls. I need girls. I want just one female to hear these cries of desperation and alleviate some of this sexual frustration. And to prove this poem didn't fail, how about some cutie by this feminine misogynistic cocktail? I'm the grammar police. Release my knowledge through breath. Taking a step over that proverbial line, I'll refine your sentence in this linguistic prison, causing a cataclysm of the lexicon. I'll do my thing and be gone before you know it. The only thing to show will be the quality of sentence structure and the allure of being secure in your verbal ability. It's a skill to be mastered, plastered in your mind. How to find the proper way to articulate, to enunciate, how to intellectually contemplate. I have this ability, and it's a thrill to me to adequately express my verbal aggression. I could teach my teacher a lesson. I have a confession. I may not know everything, but I come close, keeping other verbal professors on their toes. No one knows what I'm capable of. I shove my competitors off with quotation marks. Anyone who embarks on this journey through English will have to distinguish your remains from the other brains I've battled, because I've saddled up and I'm ready to ride. My words cut like a knife, staying true to my life. I tell it like it is, straight business. If you step to me, I'll have to throw the apostrophe, because I'm possessive, and I always come plural. I'll put your head in a whirl, whether you be a girl or a boy. I won't toy with you, I'm not lying. I'll send you crying to your mama saying, please don't bring that language drama, because I'm like the comma before an and. I command togetherness, so if stress is what you feel, best just learn to deal, because I'm positive punctuation. I'm all about capitalization, and not just for proper names. I don't play games when it comes to linguistics. My tercets will cause epileptic fits when I spit my verbal fire. You'll step in that quagmire and sink trying to think of what to say next, while my syntax drops hints of the facts. I got heated packs, verbal attacks. I plan to abreact this stack of negative emotion, because I have this notion that through communication the problems of this nation could be eradicated if we educated the mentally constipated populace of illiterates, because this fight pits mother against child in this wild language war. Want more, comma? Because I got it! Exclamation point. English is a joint filled with rules that public schools no longer teach. But this knowledge is still within our reach, so I beseech you to do the right thing and bring this knowledge into the know before they go and fence you in with parentheses, and you'll be saying like, what tense are these and where does this comma go? And you don't even know about the colon. I'm not talking about part of the digestive system. I'm talking about the two dots when you're listening to elaboration, implication, or summation. The dots are an indication of a finished thought, but you've got more to add, so instead of getting mad or frustrated, just use the colon. Now we're on a roll, and I'm going to tell you about the dash, how to mark a gash or sudden break, and once thinking before you're done blinking, you'll know the difference between this and a hyphen. Use a hyphen when connecting a divided word. Although it's absurd for me to have to repeat myself, when you finish with a thought, you've got to use that dash. Now I don't want to smash your dreams of being an English scholar, but like a dog without a collar, a paragraph without an indent is just wrong. And though you've been practicing your alphabet song, it sounds long-winded. I've taken the time to spin this tale of language loss. Maybe now you'll be able to properly punctuate a clause. I'm the grammar police, and I'm on patrol. Thanks.
Over at the shop, and this is we have like little wife beaters, but we have also some T-shirts. But this is the decal, and you will notice that they're all hand bedazzled. Everyone's one of a kind. They're all very unique. So they all have little studs for the stud leaf and little dazzles for the dazzling. You. He was older, like maybe he was in his late 20s, possibly 30s. He had blondish hair that curled and wire-rimmed glasses that always made me think of him as a hippie and not a punk like he said he was. Gordon was one of those guys that was punk as fuck back in the day, and he paid his dues. And now he didn't have to say dye his hair or look fucked up because he did it already. And now he could relax with the young punks in the park that ran like a median strip all the way up Comm Ave in Boston. The stone circle that worked as a bench, curving around the statue of some famous Bostonian. Lots of trees, some are with their leaves on it. Here comes Gordon with the case of Bush. And you'd really have to beg him to get you to give him a can of the stuff. I myself drank vodka, but I appreciated Gordon for the resource he was. He was mainly there for the skater boys who saw him as some kind of icon and gave him all the attention he needed to bore you to death with his stories about the old days of punk rock in Boston when everything was better. It bothered me that Gordon looked so normal and still wanted all this respect as a punk rock guy. I mean, to me, looking fucked up wasn't about fashion, though I did, of course, appreciate fashion. But looking fucked up, it was a direct rejection of everything. Of society, normality, and all the bad music, dumb jobs, and bullshit that went with it. You looked fucked up so that people wouldn't like you because you didn't like them, and you wanted to wear it like a sign on your back. This massive rejection of a world that hates everyone who is different, and you make yourself different to align yourself with every person who ever got fucked with for not fitting in, for knowing that normal was stupid. It was the colors of a philosophical gang and the fatigues of a punk rock army engaged in a war against, I don't know, school, rich people, people who didn't think, skinheads and jocks and business guys, cops and cheerleaders, snobs. So to me, Gordon listened to punk rock music, but he wasn't standing for anything. He was sitting with that case of Bush, the blue and white cardboard, and he was sitting with the skaters, these boys we called the donkeys. Because once we were over at Ellen's house drinking beer and watching a video, Fatal Attraction, and it was bothering me that everyone was so excited for Glenn Close to die, because I actually felt kind of bad for her, and could see myself maybe flipping out like that over love when I got older, and I figured I needed to have compassion for crazy women as a kind of insurance that someone out there would have compassion for me if I lost it. But the point is Ellen's father. He was a cop for the Winthrop Police. There was a little cop sticker on Ellen's car that was responsible for getting us off the hook that time we had way too many kids packed into the car. And Scott, my brief hippie deadhead boyfriend, had been smoking pot, and there was a thick cloud of smoke hovering at the ceiling. I was on his lap, and he burned my back with the pipe as he fumbled it into his pocket. The cops who pulled us over saw the sticker on the back window and said, "Who's in the force?" And Ellen said, "My dad." And the cop said, "There's an awful lot of you in there. Where are you headed?" And Ellen said the name of the amusement park we were going to. And the cop said, "It's good that you kids are getting out of the city and let us go." Ellen's father, the cop, came into the room when we were watching Fatal Attraction and said, "Ellen," in that kind of a voice. And Ellen went out of the room with him and he said, "Who are those donkeys? I want them out of here." So the boys were donkeys, and mostly they were problems. BB, who was the worst, he was a tagger, and he got arrested a lot, to the point that it was Jezebel rivaled me with. Lorraine is not, do you guys know that? Like when you're like your best friend and you like the same band, it's like this constant, like, no, you don't love them like I love them. You just love, you think you love them, but I love them. It was like that. Lorraine's mouth was so big when I was tripping, she looked like a shark, like she could eat my head. She was half dating Curtis, who was a Nazi skinhead, and Lorraine said, "He is not, he knows I'm half Jewish," but I'd seen the swastika he kept tucked under his shirt. We were all inside Vinny's car, and I turned to Greg in a sudden panic and said, "Greg, what if we end up like Gordon? What if we never do anything?" I was gripping his black trench coat. "Oh, Michelle, stop, don't take me there." But I was encouraged. Do you think about that? Are you scared of that too? I just needed to talk about it. "You are going to give me a bad trip," he told me plainly. I felt like time was pulling me toward a place worse than dying. I wrote a really bad poem about that time. Part of it went, "Hope is a jewel I sometimes wear, and love is a fleeting emotion." Another story I wrote was about a girl who gets attacked by a vampire on a desolate city street. I was goth. And is left to die by the curb in a pool of blood and broken glass. Please, she gasped to the vampire, take me with you. And the vampire laughs, ha 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 ha, and the girl dies. I didn't think writing counted as something I could do because I was doing it already as a kid. So it was by definition frivolous, not serious, did not count. I'd watched the adults in my family, and I understood that growing up meant working a job all day, coming home, talking about how it sucked, eating dinner, watching TV until you fell asleep in front of it. You fell asleep on the couch in the room that was dark and stunk like stale cigarettes, and the television flickered across your face all night like dreams. You could have that, and if you were someone else, you could have college. Or you could be Gordon, and you could have a park full of kids who loved you for the beer that you brought them. Thank you. I just went on, my book Valencia just came out this past spring, and I have a friend, Clint Callis, has a really, really great book out also, and we went on this book tour together, and he's this like, I knew him when he was a total speed freak and like insane fag who weighed like 12 pounds, and like now he's sober and like he's really good, he's doing really good, and but like he's catching up really hard on like sleep and food since he didn't do either of those things for like 6 years, so all he did was like sleep in the back seat the whole tour. Cassie was with me, and like Cassie was doing all the driving, and Clint would just be like knocked out, and then all of a sudden he'd be like, girl, I need McDonald's. And like that, like, get up and bring him to McDonald's, eat like 3 Big Macs, go back to sleep. Like it was so intense. But he had this like really intense, like his adjectives were really intense, and there was only like 4 of them that he had. So like every sentence had like the same words in them over and over again. And what was his words? He would say, oh, quit dancing around. He would say that, quit dancing around, quit dancing around. And then Mary, he had this, he's from Arkansas, so he has this great accent. And he wouldn't even, like, it was so excellent. We'd be in, like...
We went to the DQ, and he was
DQ in, like, redneck country in Oregon, you know, with just, like, people with guns
He goes
going
up to the
crazy.
counter, and he's like, now is that a meal deal, Mary? And the girl's like, yeah, he's like, gorgeous, or something.
He would say
But he doesn't say gorgeous, he says,
Bonjour. Bonjour. Yeah, he'd say bonjour, or he'd say gorgeous, and then he'd just say gorge after a point. He was just too tired from all the Big Macs to say the whole word. Gorge. And then he would also say total, like instead of totally, like he's agreeing with you, total. It was awesome. Why am I blanking on the name of his book? We were traveling.
Cottonmouth Kisses.
Cottonmouth Kisses. Check out Clint Catalyst book. It's very good. He's great. So that's a little bit of Clint Catalyst for you.
Yeah, we do How to Fuck in High Heels, but I was going to do it for Atlanta. How many people have seen it or heard me do it? Like, okay. Is that okay? Do you guys care if we do it? Okay. So,
It's bonjour.
it's bonjour. I like love making them do that for some reason. It makes me happy. Okay. The How to Fuck in High Heels. There's How to Fuck with Fingernails, How to Fuck in High Heels, How to Fuck while you're bedazzling. No, that's gonna be the reprint. Because we didn't have bedazzling in this one. And then also, you know, if you ever want to do any glamour Q&A, we can do that at the end of the, there's How to Walk in High Heels, okay? First, that comes first before How to Fuck in High Heels. So if anybody needs to know the walking in high heels part, it's all about tape and a line on the floor, and it's all like walking. And it really should be a video as well. But, I should plug our video really quickly. Hard Love is a narrative, and it's about fighting and fucking with your ex-lover. So going back after you've already broken up and everything and having that one more last fuck. Maybe you guys don't relate to that here. Don't know. Seems a little universal to me. And it's 2 movies in one. And then How to Fuck in High Heels is like a sort of rock, fake documentary, mockumentary, a comedy, but lots of hardcore fucking and lots of dirty talk. I didn't know I could talk that dirty. And then it just, you know, it's like that movie. I always related to Dirk Diggler in that movie, Boogie Nights, where he goes, everybody has one good thing. Like, I start to get a little bit embarrassed about my, you know what I'm saying, blah, 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 it just comes out. And yes, and I also want to say, but I don't see where they are, but we have them.
We do.
We have them. We have fabulous coupons from Good Vibrations, because when we were getting ready to leave town, couldn't really afford to get Rosita, which is right here, a Chevy van, and Good Vibes came through with this little chunk of money at the last minute, and all I have to do is hand out pink coupons so that everybody saves money buying sex toys. I was like, that's just fabulous. So, and if I can't find the coupons or you don't have them, all you have to do is call up the 1-800-BUY-5 phone number and say Shar says, that I get 10% off, and they'll give it to you.
Mention
Some sex toys. You guys call up Good Vibes and say, I saw Rosita and I saw the Wasted Motel. Give me my 10% discount. And they'll only give it to you, though, till November 10th. So fuck now. Buy now. Okay. How to fucking high heels. And, not to do a disclaimer because I'm going to be fabulous right now, but when I do it in the movie, I wear like 18 different outfits. And a lot of them are lacy and show my butt. Unusual lacy ones, not the common lace. I don't be wearing any common lace. Okay. If you have a bad back, I'm very sorry. Been there. Anyway, use this as a visualization. I have. And when I did physical therapy for my back, like, if you can't do it, just visualize. So if you have a bad back and you can't fucking high heels, just visualize. Okay. Oh, please, I do not mean you leaving on your shoes in bed while you roll around like a Playboy bunny. I mean you fucking someone else with your feet stilettoed firmly to the floor, or 5-inch wedging to the floor, as the case may be. I have to admit it, I love that I can fuck a girl into complete ecstasy while wearing 6-inch platforms. When my butch sisters are plowing into a babe, look to the floor. They root themselves in clunky boots that could hug a Harley if not a mountainside. Feelings of power and control snake through me as I go at it. No slipping as she pushes back into me saying, harder, harder. I always hope that she's saying harder, harder. Yes, we may all feel that way when we have sex wearing our old jammies, but this is showing off yet another level of mistressy. Sexing her in heels also takes incredible balance, grace, and determination, not to mention a strong back. And there is the Starfleet Academy exam at the end of the book. That is balance, grace, and determination. Okay. Fucking successfully in heels also requires quality heels. What is quality? Something that's just stuck to your foot, snug and not wobbly. I would love to see one of those Easy Spirit commercials featuring a woman fucking instead of playing basketball. There are a couple of ways to strap it on while strapped in heels. First off, you can kneel or lie on the bed, keeping your shoes on. But when you're on your knees, what's on your feet doesn't really matter that much, so why bother? You could end up poking holes into the comforter and send feathers flying everywhere. Or you could rip holes into the flesh of your lust one. Now that one could be a plus or a minus depending on your style. Overall, the fun point of you actually fucking in your heels, opposed to the fetish charge of you being in your heels, is lost in lying down positions. Another technique is for you to both be standing up leaning against a wall. Now this position's success depends on your heights being complementary. She needs to be 2 to 4 inches taller than you in shoes. So when you're cruising tonight, just like take a tape measure with you or something and figure that out. If she's small enough, you can just pick her up, but please be sure that you can pick her up or wear a weight belt, just like bring one home from work that day. Anywhere with a sturdy bar overhead makes for a great standing up fuck arena. You can both really get some leverage and like utilize your upper body strength. A third position is for her to sit on a countertop while you pull up to the bumper. Then there's the forgotten ladder. Cats love ladders, I love ladders, really, unless you're living space, and I couldn't even say this one in New York because I was like, yeah, actually, they can't fit a ladder.
No, they can't.
Yeah, and in San Francisco, we can't hardly either because everybody's like, yeah, I've got a shelf, I'll rent it to you for $600. Okay, I highly recommend owning, though seriously I do, a sturdy wooden ladder, and I'll let you figure out those positions on your own. My favorite position, though, is for a beautiful baber stud to be bent over a piece of furniture while I'm doing her from behind. I get the full benefit of seeing her ass cheek, sweet butthole, and pussy as I fuck her. On to technique. Don't be afraid to move her around to where you want her to be. Bend her over, spread her legs until she's at the right height. Do you want to be my model? Yeah.
Sure.
You can do an acting job.
Alrighty.
So everybody can see her.
Okay.
There you go. Okay, bend her over until she's where you want her to be. Although I usually don't do 3 things at once. Okay, I can read while I do this. Blah, blah, blah. Oh, yeah. Where your legs are slightly bent and in the middle. As you guide in your dick, you'll probably need to bend down more and get on in there, and then you'll straighten your legs up and get yourself at a comfortable height. This sex may be about her pleasure. Maybe make her hold still at first while you establish the rhythm, which, by the way, you control. This sex may be about her pleasure in the long run, but that pleasure is going to come from you being a good top, and good tops exercise their control. Guide her with your hands on her hips. Hey, baby. Stroke down the length of her back. Now, don't move too much. I'll lose my words. Do so without interrupting your rhythm. You can guide her firmly with your hands, pulling at her hips, or delicately like this, with just a few fingers at the small of her back.
really get going, she'll most likely or hopefully be pushing back into you, which could throw you off balance. Okay, do that. Oh, I might be off balance. You can beat her off and slap her back and say, hey, stop fucking me back. You're going to be put back in your chair in about 2 seconds. Or you can let her succumb to her desire, and you can brace yourself by putting one foot behind the other.
Pull up to the bump, baby.
Okay, you have to sit back down. Varying your, oh no, I don't want to read that yet. Okay, every now and then you might want to put your legs together and bend your legs a bit and fuck that way. Just bend over her back and kiss her neck or her shoulders, or you can just kiss anywhere you want to. And this isn't only a nice little intimate thing to do and makes you seem all special and cuddly, but it gives your little back a stretch, so you don't get a back spasm. You can also have her lean back up into you, and you can reach in front and stroke her belly or her pussy or her nipples. Call her your baby, your princess, or your dog. Then just push her back down and fuck some more. For the most part, different positions and rhythm changes tease your partner. When she has really started rising into that pre-orgasm high, now this isn't the foreplay or anything, but she's really been going at it. She's rising into that pre-orgasm high. Try to fuck as long as you can at that pace. Find a rhythm and stick with it. So you're going at it at this pace that works. Does she need to touch herself? You could do that, but be sure that you don't lose your rhythm, and it depends on also how your bodies are shaped. Your touch sends electricity through her body, but chances are what she really wants is just a good fucking. You might be better served by saying, sweetie, you just go ahead and help yourself. While you keep your hands at it and keep going at it. She might tire of this position after a while, not necessarily her pussy, but perhaps her elbows, her back, or her mind. Let her roll over onto her back, where you can lie on top of her and indeed rip those heels into the bed sheets. Or, if it's your turn to be devoured, hook those heels behind her ears and go for it.
Yeah.